This is Yes to Rest Friday for July the 29th, 2022. Go ahead and get comfortable, get cozy. I will stay afterwards for anyone who might want to learn about daring to rest, working soft, gathering a circle of women, rest and leadership that we are doing next month. We're taking a pause from Yes to Rest Friday next month. And if you'd like to join us, I will give you more details after Yes to Rest Friday, and I'll stay around and answer any questions you have. So again, go ahead and get comfortable, get cozy. That could mean lying down, that could mean sitting, that might mean standing, or even taking a gentle walk around the room that you're in, or if you're outside, taking a gentle walk. And if it feels comfortable to close your eyes, as that helps you begin to turn inward. So closing your eyes or keeping them partially closed. And just closing the eyes begins to indicate to the body that I'm going to take a pause. I'm going to go inward. I'm going to fall back from the outer world, my daily responsibilities, and come into my inner landscape, the landscape where we can access rest. And wherever you're resting, begin to notice the rhythm of your breath. So noticing the inhale and the exhale. And see if you can be non-judgmental, meaning, okay, if you're breathing fast right now, you don't have to change that. See if you can just meet that and be curious. Just notice how you feel. Noticing the inhalation and exhalation, the rhythm of your breath today. And on the exhale, you may need a sigh just to let the body settle in and let go a little more. Go ahead and let go or make a sound on that exhale. Feeling your whole body sink deeper and deeper into the surface you're resting on, or your feet, if you're sitting, your feet kind of really making contact with the ground. And when you feel ready, moving your awareness to the space between the eyebrows, resting here at the space between the eyebrows. We'll rotate attention throughout the body to 61 points. When you hear a body part named, as much as possible, just bring your presence, be aware of any sensations, maybe repeat the body part if that helps you bring your attention to the body part. And let go of any judgment, whether you're doing it right or wrong. What if the way you do it is just the way you do it? Again, starting with your attention at the space between the eyebrows. Now moving to the middle of the throat. Right shoulder. Right elbow. Right wrist. Right thumb. Index finger. Middle finger. Ring finger. Little finger. Right wrist. Right elbow, right shoulder, middle of the throat, left shoulder, left elbow, left wrist, left thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, left wrist, left elbow, left shoulder, middle of the throat, middle of the chest, right nipple, middle of the chest, left nipple, middle of the chest, navel point, middle of the pubic bone, right hip, right knee, right ankle, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe, right ankle, right knee, right hip, middle of the pubic bone, left hip, left knee, left ankle, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. left ankle, left knee, left hip, middle of the pubic bone, navel point, middle of the chest, middle of the throat, and back to the eyebrow center. Resting in stillness at the eyebrow center. Noticing all sensations in the body. Aware of how soft the breath is. And on each exhale, softening the breath just a little bit more, feeling the whole body soften on the exhale. Softening more and more. And slowly beginning to see where your awareness takes you. So, where you start to become more aware of a certain area of your body, and let your awareness rest there. See where you're drawn to. Bring your awareness anywhere in the body. And maybe that area needs a little light, a little love, some presence. So use the breath to bring some presence to that area, to bring some light. Not trying to change anything, just being with it, meeting that area of the body. And as you're meeting it, see if there's an awareness of how you feel today. Maybe it's just in that area, or maybe it's how you feel in general. See if you can meet that awareness. How do I feel today? See what the body tells you. And trust what you receive, what that first thing you receive, whatever information, maybe it's an image, maybe it's a word, maybe it's a smell. And if it's useful, you can pair it with an opposite. And then becoming aware of both and seeing how that feels in the body. if you're pairing opposites. How do I feel today? Taking a few breaths and letting yourself release any of the awarenesses you're having, unless you want to stay with that. But we'll be inviting some medicine from an animal spirit card that I've picked. And the card today is from the hawk. The medicine is from Hawk. She's all about focus. And she's whispering today, and notice the resonance in your body. Choose your priorities and eliminate all distractions. Hawk medicine. Choose your priorities and eliminate all distractions. Notice the resonance in your body. And when you feel ready, open your eyes and come back. And of course, you can continue resting. Hawk medicine. Choose your priorities and eliminate all distractions. Slowly coming back if you're ready. Yeah, and as we do it, yes to rest, it's wonderful to spend another minute or so just hearing where you're resting from around the world. If you'd like to share in the chat, and also to share any awarenesses if you want witnessed anything that you are feeling today. How are you feeling? It's one of the most radical questions we can ask ourselves. How am I feeling today? And really truly answer. Rhonda, I see your question. How are the sessions listed on YouTube? You just go to the Daring to Rest YouTube channel. I think you can Google that, or I could maybe put it in here. If you're on Mighty Networks, I'll put it in the Mighty Networks. Daring to Rest has a Mighty Networks group, and that's in the email that gets sent out. And so I'll put it in Mighty Networks. I usually post it different places, but yeah, if you just Google Daring to Rest YouTube channel, all these, we post the Yes to Rest Fridays. So you can listen again and again and again. Yeah. And you're resting in Boynton Beach, Florida. Wonderful. Oh, wow, Allie, you're resting in Santa Fe on vacation. I'm in Santa Fe. We're having a lot of monsoons and sun, or today's pretty cloudy. But Deb, lighthearted, expansive, rested in Western Colorado. Allison, hi everyone from Newbury, UK, resting there. Hawk is perfect medicine today. Choose your priorities and eliminate all distractions. I want to remind everyone, I'm going to stay on if you have questions about Working Soft, which is actually the early bird pricing ends tonight. I'm going to just put that link here, Working Soft, so you can check it out if you want to join us next month. And yes, Allie said, yes, last night it rained very heavily. Allie's in Santa Fe, where I am. Mary Scott Fisk, holding depression and joy. Hawk is wise, welcomed medicine. Heartfelt thanks for this sacred community. Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah, pay attention. If it resonates deeply in your body, that's your invitation. That is your invitation to step into a more rested place. When you feel resonance, follow the resonance. Belinda, thank you for the card. You drew often like today's one. They are so helpful. Oh, beautiful. So happy to hear that. Charlemagne, resting in Northern California. Thanks for asking. I'm feeling aware of the need for a bit more rest equals sleep today. Happy to be able to be here. Yeah, I'm happy you're here too, Charlemagne. Deborah, Sierra Madre, California, resting there. I agree. Hawk is perfect for me today. Charlemagne, very interested in Working Soft. Great, I'm going to be staying on. So any questions you have, Allie, my priority is leisure, which means I'm eliminating one last work task and turning off the devices. Yes. Charlemagne, rain, I vaguely remember that gratitude rain is happening somewhere. Well, it hasn't been happening a lot in New Mexico, so we're really thankful for the rain because we've had a lot of wildfires. So actually it's been bone dry. So the rain is, we're almost doing rain dances, except for the leaks from my roof. I'm not happy about that. Okay. Well, I want to stay on just to answer any questions about this upcoming Working Soft experience. If you feel like you might want to join us, please stay. If you don't, then this is your time. You know, we're completing the Yes to Rest portion. I will say that we are taking a break for a month for Yes to Rest. So we'll start again the first Monday of September. But next week, we start a circle of women who are gathering in service to Working Soft, but we're exploring rest and our gene keys. And this is something that I have been really turned on by in the last 10 months and have found it's really informed and helped me to really work softer and softer and softer. I mean, there are just tweaks that I have done that, of course, you know, being in Daring to Rest of, you know, pretty much all of us are on the rested path, so to speak. And if you listen to the recent podcast, Daring to Rest podcast, we talk about rest being a spectrum. I was talking with Corinne Elliott, and she talked about the gene keys being this spectrum that offers you this incredible spectrum of the essence of who you are, the challenges, the gifts, and really the highest expression of yourself, like the highest frequency. I would say the most rested self in some ways. But it is a spectrum, meaning we go into challenge and we go back to gifts and we go, you know, and same with rest. Like you're never fully rested. You're like, oh, okay, I mean, we live in a real world, right? With to-dos and all these things or grief or whatever comes at us. And so this is the invitation in this circle is it's a 1 month experience to really contemplate your gene keys, which is the essence of who you are. It is a DNA coded transmission that was created by Richard Rudd. He used the I Ching as his inspiration and also human design. Uh, those are like built in and astrology because the transits are really important in the gene keys. That's how you know where your codes come from. So we ask for your birth date and we, you know, the gene keys always gives you specific gene keys that are unique to you. However, all the gene keys, they're archetypes that live within our culture, within our world, within ourselves. You can almost use the gene keys, the 64 gene keys as an oracle. So, you know, you can, you know, I do it sometimes just for that day. If I'm having a challenging day, what gene key do I need to contemplate today? So there's so many ways we're going to learn how to use the gene keys in 1 month. I mean, it's really a lifelong, just like rest, it's a lifelong experience, but we're going to give ourselves space to begin, to be in the pause, to contemplate what is working soft in our lives. And that when I say working, I don't mean you have to be you know, an entrepreneur just to do this. This is about working. To me is living, working, and leading softly. It's all together. I mean, we work in the home, we work outside the home, we work, you know, there's so many, many of you know, I caretake my mother. That's her primary caretaker, and she has dementia. So, you know, that's work. I guarantee you, and all of you probably have experienced up times where you're a primary caretaker, whether it's children or your parents, but that, you know, it's like there are times in our lives where we just need to remember softness, and we have responsibilities. So it's not like we're going to ignore the responsibilities, but the gene keys really help us tap into the essence and where we are challenged. So for example, I shared in the Daring to Rest podcast, inner compromise for me is huge, like compromising what I need inside of me for others. So just give, and spiral out into the giving. That's huge. And the Gene Keys really, I've been contemplating that for about 9 months now, and it's helped so much in how I show up in the world. So I'm here to answer your questions. I don't want to keep talking, but I'm happy to talk about the program. If you want to unmute yourself and ask a question, or you want to put it in the chat, I'm happy to answer anything. I did put the uh, link here. And tonight is the early bird pricing. So it is important to know if you want to join us, this will be a good time to sign up today, but we start next Wednesday. So are there any specific questions? Is there anything, if you've read the enrollment page, the love offering on the Daring to Rest website, then you might have some specific questions. It's really an opportunity for us to take a month to rest, to contemplate. Rest it primes us for contemplation, and the Gene Keys are something very specific to contemplate. And what I found, and I realized, and that this is why I'm bringing it to the Daring to Rest community, often, although we get soul whispers when we rest, there is something about the Gene Keys that is so specific to you and your essence that it's really, really powerful to have something specific to contemplate. Sometimes we're just like, okay, I'm rested, but I still don't feel super focused. And the Gene Keys are this beautiful, healthy, masculine, feminine that comes together to kind of almost be like your heroine's journey. And and the more you listen again and again and again, it goes into your cells. It's really simple. You just listen to to the audio, or you could read it if you bought the book, but I just often suggest using the audios, but everybody's a different kind of learner. So I also have the book. I like going into the book as well, but you don't need both. Are there any specific questions? Anybody have anything that's, yeah. You can, again, go ahead and unmute yourself. Charlemagne says, regarding the live meetings, it sounds like there are 2 weekly meetings. Would you please say something about what the purpose of the different meetings is? And if I can only make one a week, is it more important to be there on Monday or Wednesday? Yeah, thanks for that, Charlemagne. So, right, the main circle time is on Wednesdays for 2 hours. And we're going to alternate. So on the first Wednesday, I will be holding space, and it'll be more like an embodiment circle to get into our bodies, and also to be asking ourselves these working soft questions, but alongside the Gene Keys. So I'll be here to help you process what's coming up with the Gene Keys, for example. So the second week, we're going to start listening to our Gene Keys on the 3rd of August, but the second week on the 10th, on the Wednesday, so these are Wednesdays that are, I would say, the most important. On Wednesdays, it'll be me, and then the other Wednesday, 2 other Wednesdays, it'll be Tam Mayo, who is a Gene Key expert. I mean, she's incredible. She's based in Australia, and she will be presenting to us, the enough so that we can understand Gene Keys even more deeply and really work with them. So I'm going to be helping you all process it. And what does it mean in terms of the boundaries we need to make in our lives so that we can work more softly? What is working soft? Everyone's working soft will mean something different for everyone, but we're going to, on Mondays, the other day of the week, for 1 hour, just have like a working soft date with yourself. So that could mean everyone's different. I see women who are joining. There are some women who are entrepreneurs, some women who aren't. For some women, that will be literally their working soft time will be lying on the ground and resting. And that will be how they want to be soft so they can fuel for other parts of their lives that day. Other people will be getting work done, but in a soft way. So they will really, sometimes I think one of the challenges is we think we have to work at our desk and go, 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 go. But no, we're going to see, oh, I actually love music. I might play some music while I do my taxes or do my whatever, or do, whatever it is. I know some women have a lot of paperwork, back end things they have to do in their businesses. So it's like, oh, I hate doing that. Well, what if we lit a candle, there are soft ways we can come to it. Also, people who are caretakers, it might be something that the way they will decide to work soft. So everyone's going to be different, but we're just going to have an hour that we're going to kind of play with that. I will do a little short rest practice. We'll probably be focusing on uh, clearing different bodies, because we talk at Daring to Rest where we're more than just our physical bodies. So we're going to be doing a few practices where in Yoga Nidra, we go through the physical body, energy body, the mental body, the wisdom body, and the bliss body. So I'm going to bring in some short rest practices for each of those bodies so we can tap into those bodies more easily and rest them. So that's just to help us relax, but that's on Mondays, and that short practice will be available separately. So I would say Wednesdays is maybe the more interactive day. Mondays are just, and I love it Monday because Monday is always like, oh, back to the grind. No, we're going back to the soft. We're like taking back Mondays. And so everyone, again, is going to have a different expression of working soft. It could be, if you're a knitter, you're going to knit for that hour, or you're going to remember, like for me, I'm starting to get into flower crowns. I'm making crowns out of flowers. I love doing that. That's my relaxation. Like you're going to tap into, what do you need to feel your soul, to feel softer inside, to feel more relaxed, more rested? And how can this inform, and this is where the Wednesdays, well, how can this inform how we live, work, and lead more softly? So this is an experiment. We're going to be experimenting with working soft's going to look different for everyone. Deborah says, please give the name of the book you were just mentioning, Gene Keys. It's by Richard Rudd and it's called Gene Keys. I think there's a subtitle. It's like Embracing Your Wisdom or something like that. Yeah, so it's called Gene Keys. And it's really big, and it's really, I'm not going to say it's not useful, but it's not useful if you don't have a context. And you can certainly do it on your own, Gene Keys. But I really find, and actually Richard Rudd suggests we do it together. It's really powerful when you do it together. But the book is just called Gene Keys, and exactly how you spelled it, Deborah, Gene, and then Keys, like keys. Okay. Yeah. Anything else? Anyone's? Yeah. I personally have benefited so much from Gene Keys, and I couldn't believe when I discovered them, because just like Yoga Nidra takes you back to your true nature, Gene Keys is exactly that path. And in some ways, and if you haven't listened to the Daring to Rest podcast on this recently, I would listen to it, because I talk about the rest, release, and rise phase, and how Gene Keys, it's like embedded into the Gene Keys. It's like, whoa, all of it's there. Allison, are there practices to do every day or just Mondays and Wednesdays? So there will be one Yoga Nidra that you will be offered, and then there'll be these short rest practices, and you can rest as much or as little as you want. I'm suggesting to people to really try to set up a regular rest time. So whether that's daily or whether that's on the Monday and the Wednesdays, those are your rest days, but to make a consistent commitment to rest while we're contemplating the Gene Keys. Because the thing about the Gene Keys, especially initially, they can be very intellectual. You can intellectually kind of absorb them. And even Richard Rudd says this, that it starts in the mind, the Gene Keys, but eventually it becomes embodied. But with rest is such a deep feminine embodiment practice that it really helps you to almost, quickly have these Gene Keys go into your cells. You just feel them. So some people may be practicing Yoga Nidra and then having the Gene Keys, listening to afterwards. You might go for a walk with the Gene Keys. Yeah. Yes. And Deb, you're coming to it. So I see you say, I'm excited for this opportunity to continue to enter my fullness. I mean, that's the invitation, right? The invitation. And the invitation is always, I mean, if you're not feeling rested, it's usually some place where we're not embracing the essence of who we are, and we're staying in the challenge again and again and again. The challenge is like a loop. What's the cycle of fatigue? Cycle of fatigue is that we're in the shadow all the time, too much. And it's not like we'll never be in shadow. I go into shadow. That's my inner compromise, right? I go into shadow too, but you spot it, and with the gene keys, it literally goes into your body so that you begin to spot, oh, I'm in the challenge. Oh, but guess what? The challenge has a spectrum. It's not just the challenge. I do not have to stay here. I have gifts. There's this challenge actually presents gifts and the highest frequency of myself. To me, that's the rested place. Allison, are gene keys unique to each individual? Do we need birth date and time to find our own gene key pattern? Yes. So when you enroll, we ask you for your birth date, your birth location, and the time. If you don't know the time, the gene keys usually suggest 12 noon to just keep it there. Not every day has some kind of change in transit, and that's where the cusp, when things change, that could affect your gene keys. So if you were born on a day that happened, so what we say is start with 12 noon. If they don't feel super resonant, then we might go look at morning and evening, and we can try your gene keys for those times a day. But typically, if you do 12 noon, if you don't know your time, but they are unique. They are unique to everyone. In fact, a rest sister who's thinking of joining, she she recently she was into gene keys, and she did them, and she said she has the same gene keys as me. It's unbelievable, but they're in different places. And so it really does change depending on you. Like, even though we have the same numbers, they're in different places, and different places mean different things. And this is what Ten Mayo is going to explain to us. She's phenomenal at explaining these things. Honestly, she's like sitting in the womb kind of woman. I mean, she's feisty too. She's got that piece too. So it's fun. It's like a Baba Yaga coming to join us. And yeah. So I mean, it's going to be just a delicious month to begin to sort of open into the fullness of who you are, into that fullness. And I feel like with rest, we are always pointed towards our essence and our fullness. And sometimes, because life is life, it's really challenging to kind of step in. And with the gene keys, I feel like it's almost an extra ally on the path to being rested. Charlemagne, that sounds like what I have to do when I do astrological chart rectification. Yes, which is necessary when the person does not know their birth time. Interesting. Yeah. There's an astrology component here because it does work with the transits. It works with, the whole astrological system. So depending on where in the world you were born and the time, some days it doesn't matter, and some days it does matter. So that's why if you don't know the time, which some people don't, my husband, it was never written on his birth certificate, so he doesn't know, but if you do know, it's best to use the exact time because of the possibility that there was a cusp in that day and that, things were changing. But yeah. Jendai, I'm really interested in this program, but I will have too many scheduling conflicts to make the live meetings. Do you have any plans to offer the program in the future? At the moment, I would say no, but this is an experiment this month. We're going to feel into like, wow, if we all need this, I need this. And I have found, honestly, rest has changed everything for me, yoga nidra. But with the gene keys, it was like, I mean, I don't like, this is a weird analogy, but I feel like it's rest on steroids. It's like, whoa, holy wow. I have something very specific to contemplate. And so whether we'll do it again, I just have to see how the month goes. I doubt I'll do it again this year, but I'm not going to ever say never. I will say there are several women who have signed up who are just listening to the recordings. They can't come live. And in some ways, I've had this with other programs. Some women really like to titrate the information. And I have one thing that an online program I'm part of, and I can never go when it's just at a time that there's no way I can go. And I love listening to it later. So it depends on you. If you need also on Wednesdays, it will be more interactive. So if you need that, then listening on the recording might not be right for you. But some people really like to titrate it because the information, they like to just go a little slower. Their nervous systems appreciate that. So it just depends. It depends. But at 12 midnight tonight, the early bird pricing ends. So just be aware, 12 Eastern, midnight Eastern tonight. But yeah, so any last questions? I'm in love with the Gene Keys. I'll just, and I really, I think we're going to have fun. And what is like missing is fun. Let's have some fun, right? Everything's very serious right now in the world. I mean, literally, there's a lot of burning. There's a lot of heat. And this is very feminine. We're going to cool off for the month of August. So that is really, part of the goal as well. So it's going to be fun. Gene Keys are really magical. They're mystical. Richard Rudd is incredibly special with his language. He's a poet and a mystic. And so that brings in just this language that to me feels so feminine, yum. The words he uses, like rapture and devotion. One of my Gene Keys, the highest expression is devotion. It's like, what does that even mean? Like you're just honestly, you're opening yourself up to, just like when you go to listen to a symphony, right? You arrive and like suddenly it's like, wow, this music is taking me to places I didn't even know I could go. And that's where I feel with Gene Keys, the devotion. I didn't even, what? I've never contemplated devotion in my life. And he provides understanding of that word, the different uh, the different aspects of these beautiful words that he chooses for the path, each path that we have. We all have what he calls a golden path. And we're just beginning with the activation sequence. There's a whole path. And we'll see how much we all feel a yum to this. And I personally, I'm on the path. And I've been contemplating my Gene Keys. I feel like the activation sequence is a full year of contemplation. So this month will open you up to do it on your own, to do it, to just have that introduction. And Tenmayo is really phenomenal for that. That's why I wanted to bring a guest presenter in, not just have it be me, because I'm not a Gene Keys guide, although I did interview Karen Elliott on the Daring to Rest podcast, who's a Daring to Rest facilitator, and she's a Gene Keys guide. So that was exciting. Yeah. Okay. So daringtorest.com/working soft. If you're interested, you can always reach out to me by email as well. I'm around. Okay. Be good to yourselves, everyone. Thank you so much. Big hug. Here's to the rise of your rested woman. Keep softening. And if hawk medicine resonates, choose your priorities and eliminate all distractions. Yeah. Okay. Deep breath. Be good to yourselves, everyone. Much love.